right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Community Hour here on WRMN. We've got Chamber Chat today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in on the third Tuesday of the month. Chamber Chat with Carol Gieske is here to talk about all things happening in the Elgin and what's going on. And so we thank you, of course, both of you for joining us today. Thank you, Carol. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, Matt. Thanks so much for having us this morning. Happy fall to you, huh?
Yes. Absolutely. I'm very excited for the fall time.
I am too. It's exciting to see the change in the atmosphere as well as the trees and the flowers and what's going on. It's such a beautiful area to be in at this point in time. So we're thrilled. Well, appreciate the opportunity once again. Thanks for the airtime. We just so enjoy coming in and talking with folks in the community who are making a difference. And so today, I'm just absolutely thrilled to introduce you to the Reverend Dr. Felicia LaBoy with First United Methodist Church. She is a lead pastor there, and just an influencer in the community. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Matt. We always appreciate the time that you all give us to be a part of WRMN and to be with Carol. I always feel like when I come here, I'm at home. So
yeah, that's true. Well, you are for a specific reason, because the broadcast of the services. Talk about that.
Every Sunday, and actually I think for the 75 years that WRMN has been in existence, we've been on the air for 73 of those 75 years.
Did you know that, Matt?
No,
every Sunday without fail, we've been on the air, and that has been just a complete joy. And so for a long time, we were the longest running program from here to like the edge of Illinois, and definitely the longest running religious program. And so just very excited by that partnership and things like that. And we're hoping to expand that a little bit further later in the fall.
Well, it really is interesting. Rick and Sharon Jekyll have talked about this for a very long time, members of the congregation as well. And Rick is so proud of having been making the time available and going back for the history of the church. It's just a remarkable partnership that you have here, and thanks to WRMN, to your team that puts that together, and certainly the broadcast of the Sunday morning service every week. So, and we just don't see that ending, right?
No, not at all. Actually, it's funny. I think it's us and maybe either Holy Trinity or First Congregational, but there are only two of us that are left on the air. Yep. And we're hoping that that's going to expand into some more opportunities, and we'll expand our reach through WRMN. Like we said, we feel like we're definitely in part. I don't want to say partner, because that's not close enough. I really feel like we're at home, that this is, an integral part of our ministry and outreach, and just so very glad every time we have an opportunity to be here, and also to work with you, Carol. I mean, your insight, expertise has been invaluable. Like, we know that you're a member, but all of the help that you provide us behind the scenes has been incredible. So just thank you to the Chamber, too.
Well, we're just so pleased to be there, and FUMC, First United Methodist Church, has been a member with us a very long time. We appreciate that opportunity to work with you and your team at the church. And oh my goodness, Matt, there are so many things going on. Felicia, we could just do hours and hours with this interview today, and we do have another guest joining us in a little bit, but there have been some changes with First United Methodist Church in downtown in the last 9 months or so. 7 months?
Yeah, March 15th.
March 15th.
As many people know, the weather people say that we were just hit with a storm, but we believe it was a microburst. We were the only church hit downtown. People who deal with storms and all of this stuff say that they've never seen anything like this in their life. But 2,500 square feet of our sanctuary roof, which was 8,600 square feet, which is not the whole building, was ripped all the way out of the ceiling. I mean, infrastructure, shingles, all of that. And so we are in the process of...
I'm sorry, at what time of day?
Around, I think it was around midnight or something. And what we're so glad for, we tell people our intention is to be in partnership with people, right? We don't see it as ministry to, we see it as ministry with, and really our objective is to be good neighbors in this community. And so our friends who were at the shelter that evening were the first ones that knew anything was wrong and said, hey, something's not quite right. They heard the rumbling. And so they called our building engineer, then they called Al Walters, whom you all know well. And Al called me, and I got there. Well, the fire chief was there. Chief Sagan was already there. And here's our roof in the middle of the street.
Okay, so we're located downtown Elgin.
Downtown,
What's the address?
216 East Highland Avenue, and here's a good chunk of our roof. It's taken out my sign, taken out a tree, and it's right in the middle of Center Street. And they were like, well, what's going to happen with the roof? And I said, well, the Lord's going to fix it. And they said, turn around, Pastor. And I did, and I saw the hole, and I didn't know how bad it was until I went home about it. When I came back, I went home to try to get some sleep, and then came back around 6 or 7 o'clock. And I'll tell you, that's the thing that I love about this city, how connected and how concerned everybody is. When I got here, Steve Thorne was across the street. And my former colleague, the former pastor, was here coming around the corner. And I'm telling you, I was never so glad to see a friendly face in my life. And he was like, Felicia, come here, gave me a big hug. And just the support from this community has been incredible. Not only the financial gifts, but, people have come, what can we do to help? We have ServPro has been on site since we started. And, some of the people they hire don't have a lot. And so I went to the community and said, hey, the folks that are coming here, some of them are day laborers. Can you help us with snacks or something? We had to stop people for the water, the cookies, the fruit, all the stuff that came. And so we're just so incredibly grateful for the outpouring of love and outreach, not only from the church community, but from the business community. Every sector in this community has reached up and stood up to help us.
So what started as a part of the roof on the road has now...
Oh, well, I don't even know how to talk about it because, once I said 2,500 square feet out of 8,600 square feet. And then once they got up there to see, really saw that there was more damage. We had these 6 huge compressors and all of that for the air conditioning. All of that ripped off and thrown on the western roof. The stone fascia, 300-pound blocks knocked off behind the sign. And so what we thought would be completed in 9 months is probably going to take closer to a year. It took us 2 months just to dry out. And everything is gone on the inside. So we found out all of our pews, which equal a third of a mile laid end to end, our baby grand piano, our baptismal font, all of that is off site because our entire sanctuary is nothing but scaffolding and all of that, because everything has to be restored. The walls have to be restored, new carpet, the roof inside and outside. And so for the last several months, Off-site Precision Construction and Roofing has been constructing copper shingles for 8,600 square feet of our roof. And then they found out recently that there was something wrong with the steeple, that the steeple had been damaged. And so that's why you see that shrink wrap. So I'm learning more about construction than I ever thought I would in my life. Yeah.
So there's a little bit of an inconvenience in that East Highland Avenue has been closed for a little bit and on and off.
Yeah, and it's been closed mostly because if you go by there, you'll think those guys look like Spider-Man. But as they've been pulling off the shrink wrap, they've been putting down the ice and water shield to secure the interior of the building so that the interior we can start the rebuild on the interior and put things back. Like our southeast stairwell is completely destroyed. And so once that ice and water shield gets down and gets solidified, then we can start the interior work. And so the Highland's been cut off because of the incredible and massive work. I don't think that people really realize our church is about 60% of a city block big. And so just to be able to handle that work there and and getting everything in place and the kind of equipment that's needed, there's no way that we could have the crews there to do all that.
Yeah, and it really is interesting. The website, if people want to look to see some of the videos that you put together,
sure.
What's the website that they can go to?
The website, you can go right to our website, www.FUMC Elgin, for First United Methodist Elgin.org, and there'll be a click that says Storm Update. And so we try to keep pictures up there. We keep updates about what's going on. A few weeks ago, we brought our construction people in to talk with our congregation and the community about the fact that since May, we've been at the Cornerstone United Methodist out in Plato Center, but we're going to move back closer to town, closer to back to be at home. So we'll be at the Elgin History Museum. So when I talk about how much the community has really stepped up to help us, it's been wonderful. And I know you didn't ask, but one of the things I'm very proud of is that since the storm happened, we've not stopped being in ministry with our partners. So that same night that it happened, that same Saturday night, we were prepared to house our friends and partner with One Collective for the shelter. That Monday night, we have not stopped our soup kettle night since all of this started. Within 2 weeks, we were back in with the youth build program from the Housing Authority that helps young adults 18 to 25 get their GEDs and construction skills. The AA group was back in our building. Then we took on a new group, Bridging Heart, that works with foster care kids. We're working with the Y on parenting and preschool classes. So the two wings of our building have been in ministry this whole time, and we're excited to get back home.
Well, the building is how old?
It's 100 years old, and that building is in place because 105 years ago there was a storm that took out the building, and so I guess that's how pastors get new buildings at First United Methodist Church. A storm comes through, and then we're set up.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the building originally had 111 rooms in it, and when I remember growing up, and it was just a room after room, and it's really fascinating. Since you've arrived, you really have reached out into the community. We're just citing so many not-for-profit organizations that you partner with, delivering services with. So when this tragedy happened in March, as you said, you continued to provide services that are well needed. And Matt, I'm sure you've seen and heard of many of the services that Felicia was talking about. But you are the city's warming shelter, overnight shelter,
yeah.
if you will. So let's talk a little bit about that one first off.
Yeah, we are partnered with One Collective. We are the winter warming shelter for the city of Elgin, which means usually from December to April 15th. Every night there are 87 beds provided for the community. And not only beds, but we provide the space, and One Collective provides counseling and therapy services. We've got it set up so that people don't just come there, get on a cot, sit down and do anything. It's set up so that they can watch movies if they have to be in the building for a long period of time. There's coffee. We work with our friends through the Elgin Cooperative Ministries. If it's super cold, that we'll partner together so that meals are delivered there. And it's really not ministry to, it's ministry with, because the people that are inside have some responsibility too in terms of helping to keep the space clean, getting everything back in order, as they prepare to leave in the morning. And one of the things we're very proud of, the number's probably bigger, but since we've been doing this for the last few years, I think it's 2 or 3 years that we've been open every night, we've had about 8 individuals who felt like that they could go ahead and move out of homelessness. And I think the other thing that really people should understand too is that we've got people that come to the shelter who are working, but the rent in this area, rent's everywhere. They just can't afford the $3,000 to $3,600 move-in fee, to move in and then be ready to give up $1,500, $1,800 again the next month. And so very proud of that ministry. And then, like I said, the soup kettle ministry has been going on for years. And during the year, like during the spring and summer, probably feed about 60, 70 people. Once the winter comes, they'll feed 80 to 100 people every Monday night, a home-cooked meal every Monday night. And then again, like I said, through partnerships. So if Christmas happens to fall on a Monday, there is a Muslim restaurant in town that provides, chocolate fountain and the whole nine. And so really great love for this community and how they help us help our neighbors.
So when you got the assignment to come to Elgin, did you have any idea that your church and this community is as supportive as they are of the multitude of programs that the religious community is providing support to?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know anything about Elgin. And so when I'm like a military person. And so I get called by a district superintendent who says, you got a day to make a decision and you got to be gone. And so within a week, I'll know where I'm going, right? And so I got a call from my supervising pastor, and she said, Felicia, the cabinet has discerned that there's a place for you in Elgin, Illinois. And I said, where? Because I've been in ministry for almost 27 years, and at that time, just a little over 21, and I had never been sent east west of 294. So I was like, where am I going? And then they said, and you're going to have to move there. And I thought, I'm going to be moving where? And so my husband and I, we always drive out to see where did the bishop send us. So the first time we're coming to meet the church, we got here early because we were like, we don't know where we got sent to and what to expect. We got here way earlier than anybody else. I don't even know if you know this story. And so we thought, where can we hide so people won't know that maybe I'm the new pastor? And we went to the casino and went all the way into the back because we thought maybe church people will not be in the casino and we could hide out there for an hour or so. But I really appreciate the very thoughtful questions that this congregation asked me. One of the reasons why our bishop and cabinet, our infrastructure, thought I might be a good fit here. They said, this is a church that's willing to try things, interested and committed to their community, and you know how to use buildings, and they will be willing. So,
Well,
yeah.
Please continue on.
Yeah, so like I said, this has just been an incredible blessing. And like I said, to me, it's just about being a good neighbor. And that's the thing that I've appreciated too about this community, about just how willing at all levels, and especially across leadership, it doesn't seem to me that there's a lot of competition, but there's a whole lot of cooperation in making sure that the least, the last, the lost, and the left out have a way to be successful.
Well, it is so interesting. So you found out what Elgin, Illinois is after your stay at the Grand Victoria Casino.
I did. We walked in the back of the casino, and we said, okay, nobody, we got about an hour, and then we were like, all righty. But it's funny that we did that because that the first year after the pandemic, when we had that huge Thanksgiving dinner, the community came to help us again. But it was the casino that cooked our 125 turkeys.
They did.
And so I think that that's sort of Elgin's secret sauce, that the leadership in this community, from government, from business, from education, from the church community, that this is a community where folks are committed to working together to make our community better, especially for those who may not have opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought maybe you came here because of your construction background.
Well, it's funny. My dad did own a construction company.
Oh, he did?
But I'll tell you, I told people, I said, the first 3 weeks of this thing, we had to learn so much about roofs and scaffolding, and we're moving money like you wouldn't believe, like $100,000 like it's nothing. And I tell people we lived on Cheetos, Doritos, and Diet Coke for 3 weeks, just trying to understand how to do all this. But people have been incredibly supportive. And I think I mentioned to you a couple weeks ago that we were able to get a $50,000 grant from the National Fund for Sacred Spaces because of the work we've done in the community and because of the age of our building and the age of our church.
Yeah. Well, it is amazing. And you have an ongoing campaign if anyone is interested in donating anything either to the building fund or to the support of the social service programs, they can do that online with
Yes, they can, or
website.
they can contact the church, sure. Yeah.
But you came to the church well after you had a corporate career, which is an interesting perspective that you're able to offer up because you're also a life coach. You have so many different talents that you made available.
Yeah, I have an MBA. This is not, I laugh because I keep trying to explain to God that I would be CEO somewhere, and I guess in many ways I am, but, I never wanted to be pastor. I only came to even start seminary because I was working at a seminary in Dayton, Ohio, and the best I thought I could be was a pastor's wife, and there was a guy I kind of liked, and he was coming here for some special program, and so I thought, well, I better go see what that program's like. And then I thought I could get a PhD, and then I thought, well, I need to start practicing preaching so that I'll be able to graduate. And then I looked at my friends and I was like, I'm having nothing to do with the United Methodist Church. You all go ahead and do that, because if I am called, I'm not called to go to a church. I'll work with people like in the community, but I'm not working with you all. I'm not doing this pastor thing. And I think I was the first person to get a church. And then, here 27 years, almost 27 years later, here I sit, right?
It's just amazing. I mean, you have brought so many talents to the church. It's so interesting. So as we look at what happened from March 15th to today, that roof went off, the water came in. It really had the potential of just devastating the inside of the church. The plaster has to be redone because the water went down. But tell us about the stained glass windows in the organ.
The stained glass windows are really magnificent, and they are, well, you would know better than me, 60, 70 years old, and we were really worried that we would lose those. None of that's been damaged. None of the stained glass windows have been damaged. Our organ is comparable to like what's downtown, the Lyric Opera House, and all of that. And so to maintain the integrity of the organ as best as we can, we've had to take out 200 pipes of the main organ. All the horns and the flutes have been taken out to keep that preserved. So that, along with our baby grand piano, our pews, and our baptismal font are off-site. And then what we got the grant for is that our lights weigh 140 pounds. The light weighs 80 and the chain weighs 60. And I found out that I had two 80-plus-year-olds up in the ceiling trying to like shimmying around with the ladder that they made, sliding down a few rungs. And so we were like, we got to do something different. So the nice thing about the building being open, too, is that we were able to upscale things. So right now, doing all the things we need to do to upgrade our technology for online and on the radio so that we'll be back and be stronger, getting our lights right. So this time is also giving us a time to be prepared for the ministry for the next 200 years. Yes.
Well, it's really magnificent. Again, go to FUMC Elgin and look online, look at some of the videos of the structure and what's happening in there. It is, the sanctuary is just filled from
top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
38 feet up. All scaffolding. Everything is out of the sanctuary, and then the entire area, the pulpit area, the stage is all it's all encased by one end. Now, the blessing has been that even though our lights have blown out and all that, there's a thing called the eternal light. We call it the God light. It has not gone out since March 15. So cool. It has not gone out at all. And we don't know how it's staying on except for that.
It's absolutely remarkable. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more with Reverend Dr. Felicia LaBoy and Nancy Coleman with alignment.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Cintas. Lake in the Hills has raised its local cannabis dispensary tax to 3%, which is the maximum amount allowed under state law. The 1% hike will bring Lake in the Hills to the same taxing level as all other municipalities in McHenry County that have a dispensary and also a population of more than 5,000 residents. In addition to the local tax, McHenry County also has a 3% sales tax on marijuana. Lane closures are expected to take effect later this month near Wheaton's Water Division building at 210 Reber Street. The closures are likely to last until the end of November, according to a news release. As crews perform work to renovate and update the Water Division building, heavy machinery may travel along the road surrounding it. Temporary lane closures may take place intermittently along Willow Avenue, Cross Street, Reber Street, and Liberty Drive. Detours will be in place to redirect traffic during the closures, with additional work expected to resume in spring 2026. The Great Elgin Pipe Organ Tour returns for the 2025-26 season with its first concert at 4 p.m. Sunday, September 28th at First Congregational Church of Elgin at 256 East Chicago Street. The Daily Herald reports the instrument featured is the church's historic 3-manual 48-rank Lancashire Marshall pipe organ, first installed in 1893. The organ went through various revisions in the 1930s, 1950s, and 1980s. Though it survived the 1920 Palm Sunday tornado nearly unscathed despite heavy damage to the rest of the church, the organ would eventually succumb to water damage from a storm in February 97. It is has now been restored to its former glory with a few additional touches. The program will feature First Congregational's own music director and organist Dr. Jeff Neufeld and guest performances by Vilma Didas, music director and organist of St. Mary Catholic, and Matthew Wall, music director and organist of Holy Trinity Lutheran. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has two convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Today, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 1 p.m. High near 78 with temperatures falling to around 73 in the afternoon. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 p.m., then continuing overnight. Low around 60. Currently, it is 69 with mainly clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
And welcome back, folks, to Chamber Chat with Carol Gieske here on the Voice of the Valley and the Talk of the Town, WRMN. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We're continuing on with the second half of this program.
Thanks, Matt. We appreciate it. It's really such a pleasure to have our guests with us today. Reverend Dr. Felicia LaBoy with First United Methodist Church. Nancy Coleman's just joined us with Alignment Collaborative for Education. We're going to talk about alignment in just a little bit. But I do want to welcome some new businesses in town who have come on board with us. Children of America, South Elgin. There's daycare spots available if anyone is looking for that, right on McLean Boulevard. So check them out, Children of America, South Elgin. Churros and chocolate. Matt, you been down there?
Oh, yes.
Pardon me.
Exciting, the new location.
Yeah, you're liking it right down the street from you. That's a lovely new restaurant here in downtown Elgin, Churros and Chocolate. We had a great ribbon cutting there just a couple of weeks ago and are so glad that the family, the Martinez family, is back and in town. They've expanded from Algonquin into Elgin, and just a delicious product that they're putting together. Country Inn and Suites by Radisson on Point Boulevard. Golden Hour Chiropractic, chiropractor who's been practicing for about 7 years, coming to Elgin. Latini Holberg is a new industrial company, manufacturing company. We welcome them with a ribbon cutting. They make the machines that coat the candy that probably you've been eating through some of this, Dr. LaBoy. Is that right?
My best candy, right? I'm thinking I'm going to that chocolate and churro place. I'm thinking chocolate and churros. That sounds like a good mid-morning snack, doesn't it, Nancy?
Well, yeah, I need to run down there.
That's what I'm thinking. That'd be a good break for this morning.
Also welcoming Micro Tax Accounting Corporation out of Carpentersville, Project Mobility and the Funding Project out of St. Charles, and Urban Air Adventure Park. I think that is such a lovely place to go with your family. Have you been down there, Matt?
I have, yes.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what you would go to first. There's so many activities that you can take advantage of right on Route 64 in St. Charles.
Yep.
Take the kids, take your family, take a corporate outing down there. Lots of fun. So we welcome them as new members with us. So again, welcome to our guests. We've been talking with Dr. Felicia LaBoy from First United Methodist Church. Go online, check out the challenges that she has had with the building and the microburst or the terrible storm that hit and really has done just significant damage with the church. But on top of all that you do, you now have this construction capability that you never thought you would have. Is that
right? I'm thinking, I was like, I was telling some people, I'm 62, and I'm like, okay, I can see the fence to retire. And people are like, no. I'm like,
We're going to have you as a foreman.
Yeah, probably. Well, if you see how often I'm in a hard hat at the church.
So you got the collar and
I got the collar and a hard hat. It'll be a new uniform for construction workers. It will be the third or fourth career I'm in now.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, thank goodness you are. Yeah. Just a shout out to my colleague, Tony Lusenko with Elgin Development Group, came out with some information on Elgin's largest property owners. And this is probably information that people just don't know about our community, but the largest property owner in the city of Elgin is Walmart. Did you know that? 332,000 square feet. So we are appreciative of the retail company being here in town. From an industrial company, North Point Development owns 2.5 million square feet in Elgin. Wow. And then from an office standpoint, just over 600,000 square feet is Adventus Realty. So Tony tracks all of this, great information that we can talk about at length about the significant investments in the Elgin area. So it is just a joy to be able to share that information. And we are, of course, taking nominations right now for our Elgin Image Awards. Those are open for the next couple of weeks. If you've got a company, if you've got a program, an individual that you'd like to get recognized, please go online to our Elgin Development Group website, and you can nominate that person or that program. There are a number of categories: professional rock star, creating a difference, game changer project, and volunteer extraordinaire. So lots of categories to just fill out a very easy nomination form and nominate someone that you think is willing to be recognized in the community. So, Felicia, thank you for your time here. We really appreciate it. And you know Nancy Coleman, who's joining us. Nancy's the Executive Director of Alignment Collaborative for Education. And Nancy, you got, 2,500 of your best little friends coming to meet you next week? Is that what that is happening?
October 2nd, we will fill the Now Arena with every 8th grade student in U46. Wow. So we're looking, I think it's 2380. Oh, wow. Somewhere in that
Matt, do you remember what you were like in 8th grade?
Oh, my goodness. I was pretty studious in school. I was in studious and in theater.
Theater
and studious, yes.
Excellent. Yes. Well, Nancy, why are we meeting at the Now Center with these 8th graders?
There is some reason for all this madness. Basically, as students transition from middle school to high school, it's very important that their parents and the students understand what their opportunities are. So from the standpoint of what does the high school offer in career education? Do they offer pathways programs? What does that look like? How does that prepare me for careers and for post-secondary education, or just going directly to work? So we're excited to say that we are sort of the launch point for U46's Pathways program. So we feature everything that day from manufacturing, engineering, technology and trades, healthcare, arts and performing arts and visual arts, culinary, business, IT. So any career path that a student may be considering in the 8th grade, and their parents, this allows them to come and talk to about 15 different business and industries in each one of those pathways to see is this a fit for me? What is this like? And then it allows them to make really smart choices about which programs to take in high school. Because as you all know, high school in the freshman year, we don't think about that. We get to our senior year and all of a sudden we have no idea what we want to do. And so then we go to college for 2 or 3 years and realize we still don't know what we want to do. And by the time we come out, we have a lot of debt. And we're not necessarily prepared to be successful in the future. So Explore's just the beginning point of this. It's a time to get parents and students excited about careers and all the people they can meet and all the experiences they can have. And we hope that is just a smooth transition to high school.
Nancy, our school district is huge.
It's huge.
Huge. And this is an incredible opportunity for 8th graders. Does this happen in all school districts around the in state of Illinois?
Unbelievably not. U46 is the only one. All of the other 3 school districts we work with would like to have Explore, and we're like, I don't think we can do 4 of these. So no, I do not know of any other school district that has an event to this magnitude for 8th graders.
And how did it come about?
Interesting enough, I cannot take credit for that. It was, again, this is back to the days of Superintendent Sanders. They wanted a pathways model. Suzanne Johnson, who's the current superintendent, said this is the future. And so they've been working on that pathways model for almost a decade.
Wow.
And if you think about that, they were even more progressive in that. If you remember, years ago, they created those academies. Mm-hmm. And one of them, is a rock star. Bartlett STEM Academy, amazing. We know Elgin High School has the International Baccalaureate program. We know Streamwood has the LEAD program, which is your incubator business IT focus. So I don't even think people realize that they were making those decisions when they created those academies 20 years ago.
It really is such a wonderful attribute within our school district to have these kinds of things happening for our kids. Certainly, parents are feeling like this is a wonderful thing to be able to say, let's go explore what there is. And this is not something offered generally across the nation, right?
Not that I know of. There are pieces of this in different places, but there are very few organizations that will take on all the major pathways, the industry clusters. They'll focus on manufacturing or they'll focus on healthcare. But to have a group that focuses and have a volunteer base and an area that's committed that will focus on all those pathways at one time, that works really well.
So Alignment Collaborative for Education, located downtown at 31 South Grove.
Yes, we're actually right with, Carol's actually given us, we're squatters in the chamber.
No.
So we're right there.
But it started why and when?
It started why, this was actually a vision of Mayor Captain's. I don't know how many of you remember Linda Deering Dean, that was president of Advocate Sherman Hospital, Pastor Edmond with Second Baptist Church. They had a vision that the alignment model would build the future workforce for the greater Elgin area. And it was a vision for about 4 years, and then we began to put the roots down and make it work. And I'm pleased to say we served 15,000 students last year, and we generated a remarkable number of volunteer hours from all of our business partners. It was about, if you quantified, about an $800,000 return to the communities and the schools in the amount of volunteer hours being invested by our business and community organizations.
Well, workforce is a huge issue in our community. We've been working on that through our Elgin Development Group, through Tony and his predecessors. So important. We have a workforce of about 60,000 people. I have actually some statistics in front of me. We've got a workforce in July of 59,775 people in Elgin. Folks just don't understand the breadth of the destination that Elgin becomes, this area becomes for the jobs that are available.
Sure. And I'd like to make another comment about that, about how Elgin is ahead of everybody else. There are a lot of cities that tend to take every IT company there is, or they take every manufacturing company, or they focus on just one or two industry sectors. Elgin is extremely well balanced in their industry sectors, which is really good for the people who live here, because if one industry closes, you got plenty of other industries that will open their doors and employ you. You also have Elgin Community College, which is a huge driver of preparing students for jobs. So that transition from high school to ECC is extremely important. You heard the dual credit numbers this morning in the governing board meeting. Huge number of students will leave graduating from high school and graduate from ECC at the same time.
Wow.
With their associate's degree. Wow. So those models take a long time to build, but once you get them built, it's easy to put lots of students through those pathways.
And you're coordinating your program with the school district to make sure that there are solid pathways for these students.
Right.
You're opening up doors that never, when we or our children even were going through schools, never was that available to us. So it really is remarkable to see the access that you are providing through the Alignment Collaborative for Education. What's the website?
It's alignforedu.org.
Okay, so people can check out the multitude of programs you have.
Right.
So we have Now Center next month with 2,400 eighth graders all in one place at pretty much the same time. And yes, we're shaking our heads going, bless you, right?
I'll pray for you.
Yeah.
But then,
It's good. It's only one day a year.
But then right away following that, you have industry tours.
Yes, industry tours. We are working very closely with Northern Kane County Region 110 to explain who that is. That is the group that basically provides all CTE programming.
CTE?
And, career and technical education programming for the 4 school districts. U46 is the largest of those 4. Also includes District 300, 301, and 303. So a big stretch there. So Northern Kane County Region 110 works to be sure that all of that is in place so that we can build those programs. We have consistency. That's another good point. Across, there's 11 different high schools under all of that. So being sure that everybody, we're using standard work, if y'all remember those industry terms from years ago, to be sure that we have a process in place that is sustainable.
And you came to the alignment from a corporate background, pretty significant corporate
background, economic development background, and actually a good bit of time in the community college system, technical college system in Georgia and South Carolina. Got to spend some time in the aerospace industry, understand the importance of quality and being sure planes don't fall out of the sky. So it was a nice mix, and I think it helped me because making that transition and bringing education and industry together is not always the easiest thing to take on. And so it's been a challenge, but altogether it's worked very smoothly.
There's a little bit of dichotomy there between the two. Some make decisions very, very quickly, and others are making decisions that take a very long time to come to consensus on that. So you're trying to work between those two constituencies to make sure that you have a balance for these students. So on top of the tours, then you're working with, for instance, students who are pursuing perhaps an educational degree, want to become teachers.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that pipeline?
Oh, yeah. I have to put a plug in for our teacher development. We have one of our big initiatives, which is Teacher Pipeline. And our goal, as we all know, we cannot have any other careers if we don't have teachers. Think about that for a minute. You can't have engineering. You can't have physics. You can't have any of those areas that you need IT if you don't have teachers. So we're very excited to partner with ECC, NIU, Judson to try to bring all of the regional education resources to the table. We also are recently partnering and beginning that to add to that Aurora University too, to try to build that teacher pipeline. And a lot of that work, ECC and NIU have already done a great job. They have a program called Pledge, where you do your first 2 years for early education and elementary education at ECC. Then you do your last 2 years at NIU, and you never have to leave ECC. Okay?
Wow, interesting.
So all of your classes can be here in Elgin. We're seeing phenomenal, I don't have the latest, but for a while, the retention on that program was over 90%.
Wow.
So phenomenal program started by Dr. Sam and all of the group at NIU. At the time, Laurie Elise Piper, who is now the provost, was the dean of education. So that's where that program came from. and highly successful. I had an intern work with me for 3 years out of that program, and I'm pleased to say she's in the elementary school now as a 5th grade teacher. So a lot of great things, but we must build that teacher pipeline. We've got teacher shortages all over the region. One of the areas that we don't think about where we've got our greatest teacher shortage is actually in our career and technical education programs. Can you imagine what it takes to recruit engineering teachers that have engineering backgrounds, electronics backgrounds, IT backgrounds? So any of you retired people who are sitting at home right now and you are bored, we could desperately use your technical skills and your willingness to work with young people. I am sure Suzanne Johnson will roll out the red carpet to get you to come to work for U46 to be able to expand those career technical education programs. Almost every one of our career and technical education programs across the 4 school districts are full. So we are out of capacity, and a lot of that has to do with teacher recruitment more than it has to do with space and equipment and all the things you would think it was about. It's not. It's about getting automotive teachers that have automotive experience from dealerships and bringing them into the school districts to share that experience.
And then on the other side of that, I'm sorry to interrupt. On the other side of that, you have a very, very exciting internship program in the summertime.
Yes, it has grown by leaps and bounds. Carol's been one of our host sites there at the Chamber. We had 243 internships placed this past summer. Wow. The year before, 146. 83 the year before that. To give you an idea of the momentum, we had over 25 interns at Advocate Sherman Hospital. That is usually unheard of for 16 and 17-year-olds to be in the hospital in an internship program. So we're excited about that. That program continues to grow. We partner with Elgin Community College in the Take Back the Trades grant. We've got all of the 4 school districts contributing to that program. Suzanne Johnson had, I think, 15 or 16 future teachers in the summer school program at U46 this summer. So that program is phenomenal. And
it's a paid internship program.
It is a paid internship program. That was one of the things I fought for when I got here. Normally, internships in high school are not paid. And if you look at the socioeconomic makeup of Elgin, a lot of our students need to work to help support themselves and their families. And again, there's a lot to be said for getting paid. There's a lot to be learned from that experience about accountability and tax forms and all things you've never thought about before. So we are excited to say that all 243 were paid internships last summer. Some are all summer long. Some get hired after that. I have to put a plug in for Elgin State Bank and Wintrust. They take 4 interns every year. The first group they took, Chase, is already off to university. He worked for 60 hours, then he worked all summer long, then he worked his whole senior year until he graduated, and I'm assuming he's coming back during the holidays and next summer as a college student. So a lot of wonderful success stories from those internship programs.
It is just so exciting, and we could talk for hours about all of the programs that are going on between the Alignment Collaborative, between First United Methodist Church, and all of the associations that you have with so many employers and not-for-profit organizations. It's just stunning to see all that you're able to achieve. Nancy, as you look forward to this coming year, you're working with how many businesses?
We have right at a little over 200 business and community organizations that partner us in some capacity. Some do everything from Explore to internships to career panels. Some may only do one thing with us, but that one thing is very essential to our programming, because with a staff of basically 3 people, two people full-time, 2 people part-time, you have to have volunteer base. Oh, yeah. And your comments earlier about Elgin and how it is so willing to invest time and resources in the community. Yeah. Well, I see that same thing with Alignment and the amount of resources that the community is willing to invest in the schools.
Well, it's pretty incredible, all the conversation we have today. I am so grateful for your time and for being part of it. To my guest, Reverend Dr. Felicia LaBoy from First United Methodist Church, lead pastor, life coach, construction manager. What else am I? What's
She's going to be an internship host by this summer.
I'm going to be a what? An
internship host.
Yeah. Well, like I said, our whole goal at the church, people asked me when I got there, what was our end game? And I said, we're going to love the hell out of everybody. And our mission at the church, we did some deep work, and we said, we want people to come and discover what God wants to do through them. We don't care who you are. Let's come and find that out in whatever way we can be a good neighbor.
So the doors are open. It might be the back door right now rather than the front door.
Just so you get, just in case, just so you can get inside.
But I got a hard hat for people.
There you go, hard hat, yeah. So do look on the website and see what's happening there, and look for being back and a celebration in 2026 about getting back on site. Nancy, Alignment Collaborative for Education, doing wonderful things for our students here in U46 and 301 and 300 and 303. So thanks for you and your leadership, and we appreciate all that you do. And Matt, thank you again for hosting us. We really appreciate being here every month, and we look forward to being back next month.
Absolutely. It's always an honor to be here at the board and to have these conversations and to be here at WRMN. So
good. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
You.
You're very welcome. Folks, this does wrap it up for the program here today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your morning. Coming up next, we have the 10 o'clock news. We'll go through that, of course, what's happening locally there, near and far. And then, of course, we also do have Out to Lunch. I have a couple good interviews during that time, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your morning.